Tell me, I want to talk a little bit about your book, Brokering Billions.
Yes.
Because you really have. I mean, didn't you sell something like almost $1 billion over in a year? Wasn't it 920 billion in a year?
In 2021 and 2022, personally sold right under $1 billion.
That's just you, not the whole company.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Well, what I do, and to sell that much property, right? You can't be everywhere and be everything to everybody, and this is what the book's about, right? I know what my liabilities are, and in the book.
What do you mean by that?
So what I mean by that is in a normal transaction, I will probably do 20% of what needs to be done in that house sale process. But that 20% is the most important part of that process, and I'm really, really good at that 20%. What I'm not good at, because as I mentioned, I'm dyslexic and don't read well and I have a terrible attention span, I'm ADD, is the contracts, the marketing, meeting the appraisal, all this other stuff that goes into it. So for my team, I've been able to backfill in all those different spaces on the team to people where I might be a 5 out of 10 on this specific task. I'll hire somebody that's a 10 out of 10 for that task. So I've got a super team that is excellent in every single aspect of what happens. And I've got a team of probably 6 or 7 people that help me sell as many houses as I sell. And I do the same when I started our business, right? I can't do everything relative to the business. I mean, there's so many different things, human resources and all these type of things. I've been able to backfill and hire the best people to do specific tasks, and they just have the responsibility to do that job, and I leave them completely alone, and I only focus on what I am exceptionally good at.
What is your exceptionally good part?
Well, I think that I'm a great connector. Yeah. I think that I'm really good at understanding what you really want to do, and be able to, with clarity, help identify where's the best thing for West Moss to go by and what's the best time to do that and what the big strategic plan to get that process done. Yeah. That's what I'm really, really good at. I'm also good at finding the right people to do specific things for our businesses.
On your team.
On my team and in the business. The big point that I try to make in the book is how do you make your perceived liabilities and turn those into your greatest assets? So think about that for a minute.
So you're saying you're good at this 20%. You're talking about the other 80 that you're not as...
Even bigger than that, right? So for my first 20 years of life, I didn't fit in a standard box in school. I was way outside the box. My learning came outside the school. And my perceived liabilities is being ADD, which means I'm all over the place. I'm thinking about 1,000 different things. I can't concentrate on one thing. And being dyslexic. And over time, in the business world, I've been able to channel that to turn my ADD into being able to hyper-focus on something and obsess on something. And I've turned my dyslexia, which was really hard in school, to turn that into a big advantage when I'm doing marketing and when I'm doing things to think completely different than maybe one of my competitors was. And in the book, I talk a lot about how to use those things. And people are born too short or too tall or with red hair, right? And whatever, everybody's got something that they're dealing with. And if there's a way to turn that into a positive for your life, it's phenomenal. It changes everything.
With dyslexia, are you able to describe it to somebody who doesn't have it? Like, what is it? It's interesting that you say you see things kind of just in a very different way, right?
Yeah. So like reading, like reading is very troublesome for me, right? I can articulate what I want to say very well spoken.
Just tough with writing.
Well, writing's okay too, but I'll in a typical sentence I'll misspell 3 words. And it's okay. So for me to write a best-selling book,
because your book has sold actually really well.
It's a Wall Street Journal's best-selling book.
Sold really well.
But it's crazy because Bonneau, how am I going to read your book? I know you're well. It's all my thoughts, right? And then we've got somebody to polish it up and make sure that there's no spelling errors or anything like that. And that's been pretty cool with the book. And also the book talks about when I talked about the curves up and down and how to when you're in the bottom of the curve, that's okay. Drive through that curve because you never know what's going to be on the other side. And in all the bottom times in my life, it's always got me to pivot and do something else, which is always keep me going in a higher trajectory, right? So that's been interesting.